The local food industry in Siquijor province mostly are micro-sized industry. They are composed of bakeries, processed peanut, processed fruits like bananas, gabi, kamote, cassava, and other processed foods are the bagoong alamang, the seaweed chips, squash chips, and other processed products.
Ang ginagawa sa Elena's Bakery nga gibalik-balikan diri sa Siquijor, ang lami kaayo nakong mga produkto sa utap, sa turta, sa plain loaf o mga cinnamon loaf, sa garlic stick, sa mga cookies ug sa akong mga assorted nga breads. Mo na ilang gibalik-balikan kay lami gyud kuno. Tungod kay gamay ra kaayo ang ako ang pagsugod. Nakahuna-huna ako nga magpatabang ko sa DOST. As a baker, kinahanglan imong maggama ka og product, kinahanglan hangtod ma-perfect gyud nimo, sige gyud nimo improve, unsay kuhaon, unsay ipuno sa mga ingredients.
Ang pangalan ng pastry namin, Larena Triad. Madali lang po siya malocate dahil isa po siya sa tourist spots dito sa Siquijor ngayon. And then, gumagawa po kami ng mga iba't ibang local delicacies. Isa na doon ang torta, buko tart, and mga tartlets. Masasabi namin na iba ang torta namin dahil locally sourced yung mga ingredients natin. And then, we make sure na fresh yung mga ginagamit namin. And then, matahaba yung shelf life. Isa na doon, kunwari, pasalubong siya sa mga bumibisita sa amin. Pwede siya tumagal at ma-experience din ng mga relatives nila na inuuwian nila ng pasalubong yung anong meron kami dito sa lugar namin. Nagsimula kami 2015. Una, kami lang yung parang yung mga steps namin, wala pa masyadong technology involved. And then we encountered DOST na tumulong sa amin from step 1 hanggang with quality assurance na yung nilalabas namin na produkto. Tinulungan kami how to produce properly, paano yung mga standards na dapat mini-maintain namin. And then, sa equipment, nakakatulong din dahil napapabilis yung proseso sa mga product na ginagawa. Dahil sa strategic na geographical situation ng lugar namin, kaya namin naisipan na mag-produce ng mga pastries na original or matatawag natin sariling Siquijor.
Ang binabalik-balikan ng mga whether local or turista po dito sa amin sa Triad, yung mga produkto po kagaya ng torta, buko tart, tsaka yung sa mga foreigner po, kadalasan binabalik-balikan nila yung mga chocolate croissant po namin na patok sa panglasa nila po. Torta po is made of, hindi kagaya ng sa Cebu po na may tuba. Dito po is locally, meron po siyang vegetable oil, tsaka na-preserve po natin siya hanggang 3 weeks pa po.
Ang pinaka-reason namin kung bakit namin tinayo itong business na to is para sa mga turista na ma-enjoy nila kung ano yung mga original na produkto ng Siquijor na pwede nilang i-share sa mga kababayan nila pag once na makauwi sila sa lugar nila. And then, kahit maipagmalaki nila na meron din naman kaming mga produkto na tatak Siquijor.
All agencies like DOST, DA, DAR, DOLE, and DTI are working hand in hand to assist these micro, small, and medium enterprises to improve their competencies in the market and to increase their sales, thereby augment their income. Yung mga inassist namin, dati yung packaging nila, yun lang sa cellophane, walang label. Tapos ngayon, magaganda na po yung packaging nila. May sakto na ang label, may mga nutrition facts na. Tapos may mga display na kami sa ICM. So dati, local pa yung market namin. Tapos ngayon, nasa mga neighboring provinces na.
With the intervention of science, we are sure na napapalabas namin yung produkto na may quality. Tapos, walang nasasayang na time dahil guided lahat ng production line. And then, yung mga tao natin, may continuous kasi na consultation lagi from DOST kung aligned pa ba yung mga ginagawa natin in terms of processing, sa production, sa packaging, lahat.
Tungod sa mga machines nga na avail na ako sa DOST, gikan pagsugod ni increase ang ako ang sales og mga almost 60% ang ako ang sales. Kay ang daghan naman kong mga product nga mahimo, daghan akong klase-klase na nakahimo na ko dugang pang mga product nga naka-increase ako ang sales.
Dahil doon, tumaas yung kita namin and then yung exposure sa product namin lumalawak. Kasi DOST also help us na i-promote kung saan yung mga tie-up nila na mga project na re-recommend nila yung mga product namin dito sa Siquijor.
Our local food industry in the province are improving because their sales are really improving and they are reaching new markets, not only in our local, but they are already displaying at the malls.
As of now, we are focusing to add more sa product line namin. Then, we are encouraging na sa turista namin na i-encourage namin sila na i-try naman kung ano yung ino-offer ng Siquijor para aside sa mga beach na pinopromote namin, at least meron din kaming sa food industry, meron din kaming contribution with regard to pasalubong items.
Naniniwala ako na buhay ang local pastries diri sa Siquijor tungod sa teknolohiya nga gihatag sa DOST nako o naka-employ po ko og daghang mga walay trabaho nga akong gi-employ, nakatabang po ko nila. Papasalamat din po ako sa DOST na sila ang sumusuporta, walang sawang suporta sa akin hanggang ngayon.
The Greater Metropolitan Manila area has a long history of natural disasters and extreme weather events. Following the calamity of Typhoon Ondoy in September 2009, which caused about 500 deaths and damage of about 41 billion pesos, the Greater Metropolitan Manila Area Risk Analysis Project was begun. Covering the 16 cities and one municipality of Metropolitan Manila, as well as parts of Bulacan, Cavite, and Rizal, the study looked at the hazards of flood, wind, and earthquake. The project is a collaboration between the technical agencies of the Government of Philippines, supported by the Government of Australia Aid Program and Geoscience Australia. The aim of the project has been to give a much clearer understanding of the risks from natural disasters, of where the risks are greatest, and of how the dangers can be reduced. This analysis identifies three main types of potential risk: flooding in the Pasig-Marikina River Basin, severe winds associated with tropical cyclones, and risks from damaging earthquakes from the West Valley Fault. Natural hazard risk analysis involves understanding the relationship between a hazard, the exposure or elements at risk, and the vulnerability of those elements. Risk can be expressed in terms of physical damage, economic loss, or the number of people killed or injured. Information was developed that first built an understanding of how people live and work in the Greater Metropolitan Manila area. The study area included the low-lying areas along Manila Bay and Laguna de Bay, the flood-prone Pasig-Marikina River Basin, the elevated areas in Rizal Province to the east, and the West Valley Fault, which passes north to south through the metropolitan area. LiDAR, light detection and ranging, was the first major set of data to be collected. An aircraft flying over the Greater Metropolitan Manila area used a special laser scanning device to measure the profile of the landform and the heights of such features as trees and buildings. From these measurements, a digital elevation model, or DEM, was constructed. The model gives us an overview of an area that is home to about 12 million people. But where do they live? Where do they work? And what makes them vulnerable to natural hazards? Using the best available data from many sources, a picture of the built environment is developed. Of building density, of population density, of the current land use, of building heights, and of the complex mixture of the age and type of buildings that are present across the metropolitan area. All of the information about the characteristics of exposure that are needed for risk analysis have been gathered and organised into a spatially enabled exposure database. To estimate the vulnerability of buildings exposed to natural hazards, engineering models for different building types were developed. Not all buildings will experience the same level of damage when they are exposed to the same level of hazard. For example, engineered reinforced concrete buildings will, on average, suffer less damage than unreinforced masonry buildings when subjected to the same level of ground shaking. Hence, vulnerability models were developed for different building types to characterise the average economic loss for each building type. Economic damage is complex. Low-cost buildings may be destroyed and be inexpensively replaced, but high-cost, well-constructed buildings may suffer minor damage that is relatively expensive to repair. All of this is reflected in datasets estimating the costs of damage. The relationship between wind and the landscape changes the impact of severe winds on the city. Winds increase in ferocity as they flow over hills, over ridges, and over high ground. Areas such as the open space of the airport, of Manila Bay, and of the riverbanks experience higher wind speeds than built-up areas. Knowing wind strength means knowing how buildings, billboards, and shanties will be affected. The areas of greatest damage can be seen in the mountainous regions in the east and along the escarpment of the West Valley Fault. The steep topography in these areas, combined with the presence of wooden and makeshift structures in the rural areas, are the reason for the high level of damage. Flood projections are calculated from known rainfall figures. Metro Manila has experienced catastrophic flood events along the Marikina Valley and the San Juan River and can expect more. The figures that have been calculated show that there is a possibility of a flood bigger than has been experienced in recent times. The results also show how damaging floodwaters can be expected to move through the city over a period of 48 hours, how high floodwaters will reach, and what the area of inundation will be. Damage is widespread in low-lying parts of the city and adjacent the main river systems. A particularly large damage hotspot occurs in the city of Marikina, where deep floodwaters combine with a high proportion of wooden and makeshift structures, which are easily damaged by flooding. As with winds and flood, the mapping of earthquake events can be related to what is known of land use, and physical and economic damage can be mapped according to where the most fragile forms of housing have been constructed. The population affected can be mapped, and so can the economic damage because of the land use and construction methods. A range of earthquake events were used as the basis for calculations. The hotspots, clearly seen following the West Valley Fault, and areas lining Manila Bay, both the expectation of strong shaking and the high concentration of easily damaged buildings explain this. Risk analysis is employed for locating the areas at risk and quantifying the risk posed by earthquake, severe wind, and flood. We can illustrate this with the example of earthquakes by combining information on the three parts to risk and plotting the quantity of risk. By comparing formal settlements, major commercial areas, and informal settlements, we can see how the measure of risk changes. The factors considered are hazard, which describes the likely intensity of an earthquake in that area, exposure, which describes the number and type of buildings that may be at risk to earthquake, and vulnerability, which indicates the expected physical damage and economic loss, which varies from high for makeshift structures to low for reinforced concrete buildings. By identifying those places at greatest risk, we can highlight areas where, for example, modifications to land development or building practices would have most value. By identifying the most at-risk areas, local government units have the opportunity to adapt their planning in new developments and identify those places which, being most at risk, will need early warning of flood danger, early intervention, and assistance. The data products that have been produced by the Greater Metropolitan Manila Area Risk Analysis are free and will be readily accessible from the Office of Civil Defence and the Philippines Geo Portal. They will be provided to each local government unit, which can update the data and build their own database for planning, designing and implementing projects, mitigation activities, and contingency planning. Flood, earthquake and severe winds will always be a threat to the Greater Metropolitan Manila area. The risk analysis tools help us to understand, prepare for and survive these hazards. Australia stands ready to support the Philippines in this effort. By jointly investing in building the resilience of communities to natural disasters, we can contribute to a safer future for all Filipinos.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Ito na po ang ating maging taya ng panahon ngayong araw, June 13, 2019. Sa ngayon po, prevailing o nakaapekto sa bansa ang southwest monsoon, lalo na sa kanlurang bahagi nitong Luzon. At asahan na may epekto yan, lalong-lalo na sa western part ng bansa. Samantala, umina naman ang epekto ng ITCC dahil nag-recede po ito or sa gawing silangan ng bansa sa ngayon. At asahan nga na may kalat-kalat na pag-ulan sa gawing kanlurang bahagi ng bansa, particularly sa Babuyan Group of Islands, sa Ilocos region, sa Zambales at sa Bataan. Samantala, sa nalaming bahagi ng Luzon ay asahan naman na maging maganda ang panahon at magdudulot lamang ng mga isolated rain showers itong mga tinatawag nating localized thunderstorms. Samantala, ang agwat ng temperatura sa lawag ay maabot po sa 26 to 33 degrees Celsius. Samantala, ganoon din sa Puerto Princesa, aabot sa 33 degrees Celsius ang kanilang init na maramdaman. Samantala, dito sa Metro Manila ay mula 27 hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Sa Baguio, aabot sa 25 ang kanilang init na maramdaman. Sa atin namang alamin ang maging panahon sa Visayas at Mindanao. Ganon din naman sa Visayas at Mindanao, maganda ang panahon at itong mga isolated na thunderstorm lang ang magbihatid ng mga biglaan at panandaling buhos ng ulan. At ang init naramdaman sa Cebu at Iloilo ay aabot sa 34 degrees Celsius, samantala sa Tacloban ay aabot lamang sa 32 degrees Celsius. Sa Mindanao, sa Cagayan de Oro at sa Davao ay aabot sa 33 degrees Celsius at sa Zamboanga ay aabot sa 34 degrees Celsius. Wala naman tayong banta ng matataas na alon sa anumang baybaying dagat ng Kapuluan at safe sa ating mga manlalayag ang pagpapalaot sa ngayon at dahil nga most light to moderate ang ating sea condition sa buong Kapuluan. At tingnan natin ang magiging taya ng panahon sa loob ng sa susunod na 3 araw sa Metro Manila. Ay asahan lamang natin itong mga tinatawag nating localized thunderstorms. But generally, sa sunod na 3 araw ay maging maganda ang panahon at ang agwat ng temperatura ay aabot sa 35 degrees Celsius. Sa Baguio City ay expected sa loob ng 3 araw ay maapekto ang southwest monsoon, kaya naman ay may hatid na kalat-kalat na pag-ulan ito at aabot sa 25 degrees Celsius ang kanilang init na maramdaman. Samantala sa Legazpi ay magandang panahon sa loob ng 3 araw at mga localized thunderstorm lang ang maghatid ng mga panandalian at biglaang buhos ng ulan at aabot sa 35 degrees Celsius ang kanilang init na maramdaman. Sa Metro Cebu, ganun din maganda ang panahon, mga isolated thunderstorms lang ang maghatid ng mga pag-ulan at aabot sa 34 degrees Celsius ang kanilang init na maramdaman. Sa Metro Davao, maganda ang panahon, mga isolated lang ng mga pag-ulan ang inaasahan at aabot sa 34 degrees Celsius ang temperatura na maramdaman sa Metro Davao. At ang ating araw ay sumikat po kaninang 5:27 ng umaga at lulubog naman po ito gawing 6:26 ng gabi. Para naman sa karagdagang impormasyon, maaaring i-search kami sa social media sa DOST_pag-asa at maging sa aming website bagong.pag-asa.dost.gov.ph. Yan po ang ating latest mula rito sa Weather Forecasting Center ng Pag-asa. Joey Figuracion, maraming salamat.
DOSTv would like to thank Filipino Creazione de Mano Incorporated. Visit their showroom at ground floor lobby, PSMBFI Building, 318 Santolan Road, West Crame, San Juan City. SciDev, the world's leading source of reliable and authoritative news, views, and analysis on information about science and technology for global development. Visit their website at www.scidev.net. Enchanted Kingdom. Enjoy the rides and attractions in Santa Rosa, Laguna, or stay up to date through their website www.enchantedkingdom.ph. The magic lives forever.